Yeah. Who know about that right there? Who know about that designer dro? Yeah. Happy Monday, everybody. It's your boy R. Dot. You chilling on the Full Court Press. You know how we do it every Monday on sportsandgiggles.com. SNGLV is the hashtag. Super Bowl weekend. Man. I got to tell y'all, R. Dot did not participate for Super Bowl weekend. Really, Super Bowl week. I don't have a clue on what was going on all week. Nothing about the NFL. I chose to do what I had to do. And that was boycott the BS. I rode with my mans from the gym. He was like, "You still watch?" He looked at me. He was like, "Man, you still watching the NFL?" Like I was doing something wrong. So I had to look at myself in the mirror. And I was like, man, that's it. He right. I'm doing something wrong. Nah, but congratulations to all the Eagles fans and the Eagles Nation and the whole city of Philadelphia. You guys deserve it, especially in the sports realm. You guys haven't won anything ever since I've been born, I don't think. No, I'm just playing. But anyways, congratulations to you guys, though, man. It's good to know that, the evil empire can be beaten. It's good to know. Because at first, I'm thinking there's no way these guys gonna ever lose. All your people that you listen to on TV, I seen all the clips, people sending me clips all week. This is what this person's saying. This is what that person's saying. This is what this person's saying. All them people that y'all follow and listen to and respect, and that's on TV, all them cats was wrong too. Especially your boy Colin Cowherd. He was wrong as hell. He made a whole speech. I sat there and wasted all my damn 10 minutes listening to his bull. And I knew it was BS. And I shouldn't even have listened to him. Because he the same guy. And I ain't here to trash Colin because I like Colin. But I know when a guy doesn't know nothing about sports. When he just posing. Colin Cowherd is the same guy that had Allen Iverson on his show, right? Allen Iverson on his show. And Colin Cowherd said, "Allen Iverson, thank you for coming on my show. Now, you was known around the NBA for your great defense because you were quick, right?" Pause. Even AI was like, pause, man. I was known for being a warrior and scoring a lot of points, not playing D. What the hell is you talking about? Ever since then, your boy Colin, he lost me, man. He lost me ever since then. Then he went on this long rant about why the Philadelphia Eagles were going to lose and the New England Patriots were going to win. Trying to minimize and demise all of the teams that Philly had played. You know, talking about Atlanta was garbage because they had played 4 road games and all this crap. And New Orleans would have beat them. And if Minnesota would have not won and whatever, man. You don't know what you're talking about. It's time to get these bozos off TV, man. Or pay me and I'll write the script for them. You know what I mean? Since we letting clowns that don't even really know nothing about sports talk about sports. But anyways, congratulations to the Eagles fans. Eagles Nation, city of Philly. You knew they was going to tear up the city. If y'all heard the reports already, cars, look at some of the pictures, cars tumbled on their hoods, people burning up stuff. But that's normal stuff, man. People be happy when they teams win. You know what I mean? And they don't know how to act because your team ain't never won. And your team may never win again. So it's time to show your ass. And come on, man. The police and all the government agencies in Philadelphia, y'all got to just let the people have it, man, because it's time for a celebration. That's what bringing a sports team to your town, that's all that goes with that. If you win, we parading and we just tearing up the city, we drinking, we doing everything we don't supposed to do because we happy. I don't know about some of these big wigs and some of these people who spent a lot of money on these commercials though for the Super Bowl. Like I said, I didn't watch anything, but I read reports that a lot of people spent in excess over $5 million for a commercial spot during this Super Bowl just because the ratings were down. See, people were under the assumption that these people, these big companies, these businesses are spending a lot of money on these commercial spots probably because, the demand is up. But nah. According to reports, Super Bowl ratings dipped into the fourth quarter, but that's normal with all big games. The first three quarters are always low ratings, and then they jump up around the third, fourth quarter every big game. But this year, they were down 3%. Now, 3% of $10 is not a lot, ladies and gentlemen. But 3% of $500 million, you touching somebody's pockets. You may not be touching your pockets, but that man that's underneath you might be mad because he ain't getting his pockets fed as much as he normally get. So whatever, boycott or whatever it was or whatever it wasn't, it was down 3%. That's the lowest in since 2010, since the New Orleans Saints, Indianapolis Colts Super Bowl. What was that, Bounty Gate or whatever that was? Oh, that was the Bounty Gate team or whatever, New Orleans Saints. But anyways, it's been the lowest since that Super Bowl, and that was 2010. Not too bad, 47% down from last year, which was, I believe, 50% in Falcons-Patriots Super Bowl. Way better than the Grammys, I'll tell you that. I know a lot of people don't even know the Grammys was on Sunday. I know it flew right past my head. The Grammys was down 20% from last year. They only had like a 12.7% marketing rating of viewership. Down from 20% last year. Nobody's watching the Grammys this year. Nobody even know anything about the Grammys. I saw a picture of Kendrick Lamar. He looked like a witch, like the Wicked Witch of the South or something. Like one of those, like I don't even know what he had on. I didn't even know that was him. He looked so weird. He was dressed up like a witch to me. All he needed was a pointed hat. But anyways, I guess that's how rappers look now. I haven't seen a bunch of rappers because I don't watch a lot of TV. You gotta excuse R. Dot. He be working, so I don't get a chance to watch a lot of TV. I get to see clips here and now and again. But if rappers look like that now, man, that remind me of like the early 80s rappers, like Grandmaster Cass and them. That's funny. But anyways, like I said, congrats, Super Bowl champions. They had a couple back-to-back Super Bowl title winners, LeGarrette Blount and somebody else that slipped my mind. Shout out to them. Want to give a big shout out to Las Vegas's very own Donnell Pumphrey, who plays for the Eagles. Canyon Springs High School. Played at San Diego State. Super fast running back. Everybody remembers him. He's only about 5'7", lightning quick. Shout out to him. He's from out here. So I know he can't wait to be back home in Vegas because Minnesota, when they were showing us clips, man, it don't look like it was warm and cozy at all. Like people was probably never leaving the stadium or their hotel rooms because it looked cold as hell. It wasn't like here in Vegas where we getting that 75-degree weather popping all week long. I don't even know what happened to winter. You know what I mean? Winter, where you at? It's gone. Spring, hello. That's how we do it out here. You know, record temperatures for this time of year. You know, we caught the rain earlier, and now it hasn't rained since. So I can only expect warm weather, more warm weather, and you know what comes with the warm weather. Other news in Las Vegas. The biggest news around town here is the Steve Wynn case. And it's a sexual misconduct case. Some of the allegations is this dude had sex with an old ass lady because he wanted to feel what it would be like to have sex with a grandma. Just a bunch of crazy stuff with Steve Wynn, man. But I'm going to just leave that alone because he's a billionaire and he can get me touched. So we'll just let you go ahead and read about Steve Wynn, the big hotel mogul. If you want to read more about him and learn more about his sexual conduct case, go right ahead. But R. Dot will keep his mouth shut. Anyways, Super Bowl, and you know what comes with the Super Bowl? Betting. Everybody I knew, had the Eagles. That may be because I know a lot of black people, and a lot of black people tend to not bet on the Patriots just because for whatever reasons. They hate Tom Brady, they don't like the Northeast, whatever. But that's what it is. Everybody I knew won money, so it was a good day. It was like the 1st and the 15th, straight up like that. And if you look and listen around town in Las Vegas here, the casinos got touched. This was like, I was reading the casinos only lost, out of 28 years, the casinos have only lost 3 times on the Super Bowl. That means 3 times out of 28 years, the Super Bowl was a loss for Las Vegas casinos. This year was one of those times, man. I'm looking, Win Las Vegas Sportsbook. They took a $500,000 money line bet on the Eagles, lost. They took a $180,000 money line bet on the Eagles, lost. Somebody won a tournament and had Eagles as money line as the last bet, won that, came out with 10 million racks. He's good. They don't even know the person's name. He's like blank man. He was like, I got to figure out how much money I want the IRS to take. I'm cashing this with no ID. Thank you. But these people got touched, man. These casinos, man. So that means, let me tell you what that means. That means for the next couple weeks, and probably like March Madness, people out here betting, these lines finna kill you. I'm telling y'all, be careful. These lines are going to kill you because they got to make that money up. Eagles won that easily. These guys lost. They got to make that money up. Every casino, CG Technology reporting they lost 6 figures. Caesars lost money. Westgate, William Hill lost a lot of money. William Hill said they lost multi-million dollars. So people was hitting that in-game app on the William Hill, just killing it. Because when I was trying to get on William Hill yesterday for some basketball bets, it would not let me in. You got to have a master password to get in that. Because it was like, you can't come in right now. We taking these real bets. We ain't messing around with these little bets right now on our server. If we gonna crash it, we gonna crash it for these $200,000 bets, not these $25 bets. And that's exactly what happened, because nobody I talked to really could get in unless you got your bets in the night before, And I was sick because some of the basketball games was easy money. If you looked at some of them basketball games yesterday, man, OKC, come on. Ooh. Even Saturday night was easy money. LeBron James and Houston and the Cleveland Cavaliers, they got drug. Easy money. Just know that, man. Just know. Books got killed. So be careful when you betting. What else is going on this week in Las Vegas? Oh, bases. Look, bases is starting this week. Got the UNLV baseball team. Scrimmages at Wilson Stadium this Friday, 5 p.m. And then ever so happening Coyote Classic, which is CSN baseball at Moore Stadium in Henderson, 5 p.m. this Friday. 2 baseball games. The Morse Stadium, the Coyote Classic, is actually good. They produce a lot of major league ball players out of that tournament alone. So if you go there and you happen to see a lot of reporters there and a lot of ESPN people there, it's because it's always talent coming out of that classic. That's why. Vegas Golden Knights, still number 1. First place, 35-13-4. They play at Pittsburgh tomorrow. Their last game was against Washington Capitals. They beat them 4-3. The next 2 games are on the road. They play Pittsburgh and San Jose. And then they come home on Sunday and they play Philly at 8 p.m. Vegas Golden Knights, playoffs. I'm over here saying Super Bowl. I'm over here crazy. Anyways, Vegas Golden Knights, T-Mobile Center, cracking. Watch. Summertime, going to be cracking. That's when playoffs start for hockey. Telling you, get your tickets now because they're going to make it. And if they win, that $10 you put on them earlier this year is going to make you $250,000. Something ridiculous, because I know their odds was ridiculous at the beginning of the year. So believe that. Want to talk to y'all about some college basketball and UNLV. But before we get into that, I want to give y'all a little rundown of who my special guest is today, and we're going to get to him a little later. But he's the coach of the Wright-Patterson Air Force basketball team, which is, if you don't know about military basketball, you better learn about it real quick. Thinking that you're going to come out there and run the show and be like Steph Curry. You know what? When you at Travis Air Force Base, you can get away with being like Steph Curry, you know? Or if you at Nellis, you could get away with that. But I'm going to tell you, when you go back east and you play at places like Wright-Patt, you try that going to the whole stuff, man, you going to get clobbered, you know? You going to get hit hard. It ain't nothing good. I'll tell you that. It's old school ball. But anyways, let me tell y'all about UNLV and this Mountain West real quick, because at the beginning of the year, and this is how it goes in the preseason, a lot of teams look real, real good early on non-conference. Like, they can even go undefeated. Arizona State and USC, undefeated non-conference. But when you get into that conference play, it's a whole nother ball game. And you know how it be. It's a whole nother ball game, and that's what's going on with UNLV. Currently 5-5 in conference. Had a spectacular non-conference route. Schedule, everything was great non-conference. As soon as they come in conference, everything goes downhill. Last game versus Boise State, had a great opportunity to get a nice win under their belt with one of the top 2 teams in the league. Boise State sitting at 9-2, second place. Mountain West only going to get 1 or 2 teams in the tournament. I say 1. They'd be lucky to get 2. The league is just so soft, and a non-conference schedule accumulated over the whole entire league is just pitiful. It's not good enough. Not enough wins, so they're going to get 1 team. And unfortunately, I was wrong about UNLV. I thought they were going to be solid and may have, be the team to beat and compete in this conference. A lot of people were picking teams like Fresno State in this conference to do well, but they not even showing proof. So right now, you're looking at UNLV 5-5. They like 6 in the conference. Last game was against Boise State, 93-91 overtime loss. Jordan Johnson had a chance to send that game into double overtime, He blows, he shorthands a very tough, difficult reverse layup. I will say that. It was difficult reverse layup. He didn't get enough mustard. He probably had tired legs too because it was already in overtime. So, if they had maybe 3 more minutes of rest, he probably would have made that shot. Maybe even 2 more minutes of rest during the game, he probably would have made that shot. But it was a great game anyway. The next game for UNLV is Wednesday, and that game is against number 23, Nevada. And let me tell you, I didn't watch Nevada probably 3 times this year already. I done seen damn near all the teams in college basketball. And Nevada is one of the teams I've seen. I really like the Nevada team. And if they represent the Mountain West in the tournament, I think they can get they could probably upset the first round. Definitely. They could definitely do some damage in the first round. And maybe win a second round game. That's how talented this team is. The one thing I don't like about this team is Nevada team is they foul a lot. They get in foul trouble a lot. So they're not very disciplined with their hands. So that's always a problem with them. They put the other team on the foul line pretty quick. So it should be a good rivalry game at UNR, UNLV at Nevada. You guys stay with me. We're going to come back. We're going to get Coach on the phone, see what's going on, talk some NBA, some LeBron, talk some players, talk some John Wall, talk some Super Bowl. It's the Wright-Patt edition of the Full Court Press. You chilling with R. Dot. Be back in a minute. And we're back to the Full Court Press. Chilling with R. Dot, Las Vegas, Cali Zone. You know how we do it. NCAA basketball. Football's over, man. Football's over. A lot of people pissed off. And I told a lot of cats that Minnesota was not going to make the Super Bowl. I just want to throw that in there because I forgot to mention that. And I had my reasons. But it was a good game between those two anyways. But anyways, NCAA hoops. It's really, really on now. March Madness, that's the next big thing that's going down in Vegas besides, the concerts and everything like that. But all these casinos be super packed. We're going to get Coach here on the phone here in a minute. He's going to rock with us. But I wanted to ask you something because it was a lot of upsets this weekend, in college basketball, things like that. And I just wanted to ask the folks something, basketball fans, period. And I'm not trying to down teams or nothing. I'm just trying to get some perspective from what y'all think because, college basketball been around forever, but views change. I mean, generation to generation, views on things change. And this is one question I wanted to ask y'all. Is it really a big deal if a conference team or a conference rival beats a ranked team in their own gym? So basically, I don't want to use St. John's and Duke because they're not conference rivals. They got some history, but they're not conference rivals. So actually, to me, the St. John's game win was a good win for them. Real talk. That was a good win for them. But I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about a team like Texas beating Oklahoma on their own floor. Is that a really great win for Texas? I mean, just on the outside looking in, it looks good when you're looking at the numbers. Yeah, number 12, Oklahoma, and Texas beats Oklahoma. But in conference, Oklahoma is not number 12. You know, in conference, they're 6-4. In conference, Texas is 5-5. They're not number 12. So Texas beating Oklahoma is actually a closer game than what it appears to be, you know? And I just wonder, to you guys, is it a big deal? I mean, see, the St. John's game in Duke, that's different because St. John's and Duke, they don't play each other every year. You know, they don't play each other twice every year. So these coaches, they don't know the teams like they know in conference play. But hold on, I want to get Coach B on here, and we're gonna talk about this in about 5 seconds here. You guys bear with me here. I want to see if I can get him on, see if we could talk about this. Hello, Coach.
Yes.
All right. How you doing there?
Outstanding.
Yeah, man. I was just telling everybody about this college basketball. I wanted to introduce everybody. Everybody, this is Coach B. He coached me when I was in the Air Force at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base basketball. And he coached a lot of my friends and a lot of good ball players. And I just wanted to welcome him to the Full Court Press at R. Dot. Where you at right now, Coach?
I'm at Wright-Patt, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base.
What's the weather like?
Oh, it's cold. 19 degrees.
Woo-wee! 19 degrees. We over here in 70. I think it's about to be 72 today.
See, I'm jealous.
See what I'm saying? Yeah. I was just telling them about. I was asking them about this. I wanted to get your perspective, and then we'll go a little bit about your background and everything about basketball, about Wright-Patt and things like that. But I wanted to get your little perspective since we on topic. Is it really a big deal? This is NCAA hoops. Is it really a big deal if a conference rival beats a ranked team, which is a ranked foe, on their own home gym?
So you're asking me if
So let's say Oklahoma just played Texas. Oklahoma's ranked and they're visiting Texas at Texas. Texas beat Oklahoma. Is it really that big of a deal?
No, I don't think so.
You don't?
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
And the reason being is, I mean, Texas really hasn't really put in enough of a resume yet to be considered someone beatable or someone that's worthy of. I mean, Shaka Smart is a great basketball coach, but I don't think it's a big deal.
Nah, it's not a big deal. So before we get back into this college, man, let's talk about a little bit about your background. How long you been coaching at Wright-Patt?
Say that again. I'm sorry, I missed it.
I said, how long you been coaching at Wright-Patt?
Wow. Since 1999.
Wow. So you didn't had some players then come through there.
Yeah, a lot of great players have come through here that have been they could have played Division II, Division I basketball.
So what would you say at Wright-Patt, if you wanted to put it in division or a category, what would you say Wright-Patt basketball is at? What division level?
I'd say a small D1. St. Francis and things of that nature, because we've got good size. We've had good size over the years, and I think we could actually compete with some of those schools.
Nice. Because a lot of people, they don't really know how competitive the basketball was in Wright-Patt.
Right.
Even from a standpoint of open gym, when we used to play at Jarvis Gym Saturday mornings. Explain to the public what gym management is.
Okay, gym management is if your team can win 4 games in a row with a healthy stable of competition, If you can win 4 games in a row, then what happens if you manage the gym, and we would announce you on an email to all of the basketball players that we had email addresses on to announcing the gym management that took place that weekend.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how physical, with 10 being the most physical, how physical was Jarvis Saturday basketball?
I give it a good 8. I give it a good 8, and depending on what was at stake. Depending on what was at stake, you would end up with a 10.
I always tell people, Wright-Patt had 2 gyms, the Hangar and Jarvis on the weekend. The Hangar to me was like playing NBA basketball. Really no defense. It's like an all-star game over there. No defense, only a little bit. You can really get open because the court was so wide open. But then Jarvis was definitely like 90s basketball all day.
I agree. It was more of a basketball gym. It had a basketball feel to it. It actually had wood bleachers. I agree.
I remember, like, when I first came to Wright-Patt, I came there, I think, 02, 03, somewhere around there. And my last coach at Travis, he was probably about 6 foot, 180, right?
Okay.
Closer to my size. So when I first seen you, I was like, damn, that's the coach? I thought you just be knocking people out all day. Like, I was feeling like, because I was thinking like, man, if I was his size, all I would do is just knock cats out all day. I wouldn't even. But you ain't even nothing like that. I just want to put that out there. But your size is intimidating as hell.
Yeah, I just felt that it was no need for that, I mean, if I had to, I could, but there wasn't no need for that.
True that. So now I got to get down to put you on the spotlight, because I know a lot of the guys want to know all this stuff. What would you say was your best run at Wright-Patt?
In terms of best team?
Yeah, let's say best team, and then we'll go some other routes.
Okay, wow. If I was going to best team, that's hard to say.
Or fun, let's put it in a perspective of funnest team to be around.
Oh, it was that group of guys with you, Davis, Money, Tone Williams, Anthony Williams, Jamil Cuffey, all those guys. These guys were clowns, man.
And then what was the team that, you thought was real serious about that business all the time, and, that team that really won you a lot of games?
Wow. If I had to put it out there, it would be that team with G. Reeves, Kelly Sally, Daryl Davis, and Jay France. And I don't know if you remember Bird. I don't know if you remember Howard Bird.
Oh, yeah, I remember him.
Yep.
I remember all the dudes I used to have to chase around all day. He was one of them. Yeah. So I definitely remember him.
Those guys were pretty good.
Who was so how many games, because a lot of people don't know, let them know how many games you schedule per season and what type of competition you playing.
Wow, we would, on average, we schedule about 35 to 45 games a season. And we would play teams like small Division 2s, Division 3s, a lot of junior colleges, a lot of club teams, a lot of teams that would be made up of ex-college players that weren't necessarily club teams, but they were like city league teams and things of that nature.
Now, let me ask you, has your coaching style changed, per se, from back then to now? Whereas I remember if a guy shot about 8 threes a game for the game, that was a lot of threes. Now guys are shooting 8 threes in a half. Are you more lenient towards that? Do you let guys kind of like get hot and kind of fill the game out, or do you kind of say, "Hey, come sit down a little bit"? Are you more old school or new school?
Well, I've kind of shifted my thought process on in the coaching arena, because when I first started, threes, like you said, threes weren't the main staple of a basketball game. It was an inside-out game. Now it's an outside-in game. But I'm down with guys shooting more threes if they're hitting them. I don't want them just hoisting them up just to hoist them up or get their shots up. I don't want that. If they're knocking them down, then I can ride a roll with them taking the threes. But if not, I'd rather just go inside, because we got a couple of kids that are pretty big, so I'd like to do it that way.
Is K. Sally the clutchest shooter you've ever coached?
I'll give you this. This is what I would say about Kelly Sally. Kelly had one of the best crossovers I've ever seen in military basketball. And he had great anticipation defensively. Now, when it came down to jumping or athleticism, he wasn't as athletic as most kids, but he made up for it with quickness, a wicked jump shot, and a wicked crossover. So he was pretty clutch. Now, he wasn't the best shooter I ever had, but he was pretty close.
Right. And who was the best shooter, you think?
Matt Wireman.
Facts.
Matt Wireman was one of the best shooters I've ever seen, ever.
Facts.
Yes.
Yo, who do you think was probably like the most awkward kid you ever coached but could ball?
Ooh. I'm going to tell you who threw me for a loop was Davis. Daryl Davis threw me for a loop.
3D?
Yep, 3D. 3D threw me for a loop because he had an unorthodox style of shooting and his game all around, but, man, he could put that ball in the hole.
Facts. What was your most disappointing team? The one that you just was like, man, what the hell is going on? Yeah.
The first team I coached was my most disappointing. The first year I coached was 99 here at Wright-Patt. And that was the most disappointing team. That we had the talent, but we for some reason we just could not get it together. And we ended up, I think we went 15-17 that year.
What's your coaching record right now for the public?
Wow. I looked at this the other day. It's 287 and 84 losses. 287 wins and 84 losses.
Nice. Yeah. Man, let's shift over to the game, because, you know, we all keep in touch and we talk about the game a lot. And I just want to get your take on these guys, because you from that old school era, but like you said, you had to adapt to the new way because you coach these new style players. So what do you think of that landscape of the NBA on how these guys is teaming up to only beat one team, but they feel like the only way they can do it is teaming up with another certified top 10 player or two top 10 players?
Right. When you look at them, these teams teaming up to play against, I'm just going to say Golden State. When you look at that, Golden State did it by the draft, with the exception of KD. But they just got lucky. It was the luck of the draw. So when you look at these other teams trying to match that, the problem is that even though they do have the superstars on the team, they just don't shoot as well. So that is a problem. That is the biggest problem. And it doesn't matter who you put on the court. if they're not knocking down those threes or matching those threes or making Golden State change their game, then it's all for naught. It means nothing.
Right. So they're talking. The big news is they're talking about LeBron perhaps moving from Cleveland to join another like super team, quote unquote, type of squad. Do you feel like? How do you feel? Do you feel like LeBron can get any higher, or anything he does here on out just gonna hurt his legacy, or this is all a good move, championship years? How you feel about LeBron switching these teams like this, and what's up with the new superstar? Like, what's on his mind?
Well, I think that'd be the worst move ever. The Miami move was not a bad one, but that hour special announcing the move was terrible. Right. Although it did benefit the Boys and Girls Club, I'll give him that. But if he was to leave now and go to Golden State, I think that'd be the worst thing ever. It would hurt his legacy. I agree with what you were saying. I think he's proven all he can prove, and anything else, right, at this point, he's just going to go downhill from here. The only thing he has left is, I think, is a major injury, and I don't wish anything on him. But if I was him, I would just stay. I mean, this is just me speaking. I would stay in Cleveland.
Right.
And I would just solicit. I would try my best to solicit somehow, some way, get these guys to come with us, come to play in Cleveland, if that's what he wants to do. But I wouldn't go to Golden State and play with MKD, the Curry and Clay and Steph and Klay Thompson. I wouldn't do that.
What about? I don't think this is ever going to happen. I said this at first, and then I looked at the money situation and what they would have to do and how much they would have to gut the team. What do you think about the Houston situation? I personally don't think they can do it, but what do you think?
Well, I think you got two problems out there. For one, you have to sell the farm to get him there, and then when you do, you have, I'm sure that Harden and CP3 would remain. The problem is Harden's not going to take a back seat to LeBron being the lead guy. I don't see that happening. Even if Harden wins MVP this year, I just don't see him taking a back seat to LeBron. So you'll have another but Kyrie Irving and LeBron situation. Only it'll be in Houston between him and Harden. I think that'd be the worst thing ever. If anything, if he was going to leave, go to the Lakers and start new, and then he can bring some players in, and then you can compete at that point. But I wouldn't go to Houston. That'd be a bad move.
What do you say to people that say, because I don't think this is ever true, but some people say James Harden doesn't care. He's willing to take a back seat. I don't understand where people get that from, but what do you say to that rebuttal? If James Harden could take a back seat, but I don't think he can.
I don't think he can. Not only the reason I don't think he can is because he could have at OKC and he chose not to.
Absolutely.
He left OKC to be the man. So being the man in Houston has served him well, and I don't think he wants to relinquish that.
Mm-hmm. So if the options are available, here's one scenario I see. And some of my people's call me crazy, but this is what I seen. I seen the LA Clippers has a lot of money, right?
Right.
And they have a lot of assets, meaning players that would do well if you plug them into other teams.
Right.
They also have a coach. We don't know if he's going to be there. I could just assume he's going to be there because he's there now. They also have a coach that is respected around the league. So this is what I think could go down. Melo goes to L.A. Clippers. Bron goes to L.A. Clippers. And then there's one other name that's in the hat, and the connection is Jerry West. Mark Gasol, who's a free agent, goes to Clippers.
Okay.
And then they fill out the roster with, whoever. Patrick Beverley's there, Austin Rivers there, whoever's there. What do you think about that surgical lineup?
Okay, I think about that is this. That sounds good on paper, and I think they could. I think they could compete, but that team could only, in my opinion, that team could only compete well in the East. The
Okay.
West is so heavily loaded. And then I just don't think Carmelo is committed to that, to giving his all anymore. So I just think it'd just be too much work on LeBron's shoulders. And Gasol could help out. He'd be a rim protector. I think DeAndre Jordan would probably still be there. He'd probably want to be part of that. And I just think it would be. I think they could compete in the East well, but I don't think they can compete in the West well. And then I just don't think Carmelo is ready or willing. I won't say ready. I don't think he's willing to give 100% to give his all again, to compete at that level. I just think he's cool. He's already just he's just taking he's just strolling through the league right now, just trying to finish it out. That's what I see.
You think he just check collecting?
That's what I see. He's just collecting a check. I mean, he knocked down his jump shot, but he's been and he's been doing it so long. It just seems like he's coasting to me.
Okay, you know, because I looked at the OKC game yesterday, right? And at the end of the game, they was playing like defense, and I'm trying to explain to my folks. See, that's called playing D right there. If they play like that 70% of the time, they will win all their games. But they coast.
I agree.
And I was trying to tell the guys I was with, I said, hey, man, see, that's the type of defense that teams need to play in the NBA. But we so used to these guys just coasting, we don't even understand that they not playing D.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to ask you about an East Coast team, right? If you LeBron, besides Boston and Toronto, what team makes sense for LeBron besides those two, like in Cleveland and in the Eastern Conference? What team?
For him to go to?
Yeah. What other team?
Wow. Maybe Washington, maybe DC, maybe Washington DC. I think they may. It may work with him there with Bill and Wall. But other than that, he can't go back to Miami because he shot himself in the foot there.
That's exactly what I said. Washington. I think me and you are on the same page. Man, let's talk about your Detroit Pistons, because y'all just got a real serious acquisition. And how you feel about it?
I think that changes the complexion of basketball in Detroit for a couple of years now. I don't know exactly how long Blake Griffin's contract is, but I think him being in Detroit will help the Pistons out greatly. I think what they'll do at this point is they'll become anywhere between a 5th and 7th seed in the Eastern Conference in the playoffs series, and I think we could do some damage. Now, I don't think we'll go deep into the playoffs, but I think we can win that first round, depending on who we match up against. But Blake Griffin helps the Pistons out tremendously.
I agree, especially in the Eastern Conference. He should do a lot of damage over there. A lot of damage.
Absolutely.
Now, since you've had time to assess plenty of players your whole coaching career, I wanted to ask you, how did you feel about the kid from Oklahoma? What's his name? Trey Young?
Yes.
Yeah, how you feel about him?
Well, I think, one thing I say about him is that his coach allows him, and the offense is built around him to put up that many shots. Now, I think he's small, and he'll get drafted. He'll get into the league, but I don't know how successful he truly will be because of his size.
Yeah, that's huge. His size is huge.
Yeah, IT has proven that you can be small and successful in the league, but then you're a liability on the defensive end. So I think that may be an issue for this kid. But, I mean, he's got it seems like he has all the skills from what I've seen.
Who does he remind you of as a college player? You know what I mean?
Yeah, he reminds me of Steph Curry at Davidson.
Yeah.
Yeah, he reminds me of Steph Curry at Davidson. He's carrying the team, putting them on his shoulders, scoring a bunch of points, and making them better. So.
But his teammates is way better than Steph's teammates.
Exactly. I was gonna say that though. His teammates are better than Steph Curry's teammates were.
Way better.
Yep.
I was just saying that Steph Curry's, all his teammates is like accountants and lawyers. They don't even hoop.
That's true.
All right, man. I'm gonna play a little game with you because we about to get up out of here, and I think what I'm gonna do is, wait, before I forget, do you think James Harden is the best player in the NBA?
James Harden?
Yeah.
No, I don't think he's the best player in the NBA. Not at this time. I think he is the most valuable player, but he's not the best player.
I like that. You think he's the most valuable player, but he not. I like that. All right, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to say some names, and you just tell me in one word what you think of that player.
All right.
Okay?
Okay.
All right, Anthony Williams.
Say that name again.
Tony Williams.
Oh, wow. Gutsy.
Jamil Cuffey.
Scrappy.
K. Miller.
Let's do this. Basketball IQ.
He like the wizard out there, huh?
Yes, sir.
All right. How about Jay Baldwin?
What I say about Jay is he was a self-proclaimed beast. I'll put it that way.
So he the self-proclaimed beast.
Self-proclaimed beast. I know it's more than one word, but that's the only way I can describe that cat.
K-Sal.
Wow. Deadly.
Nice. Jet.
Machine. Non-stop, man. That brother could run all day.
Man, I'm going to tell you, man. Hold up. Before we even stop. Man, there's a couple times, if I was a little taller, I would have knocked Jet out for fouling me. For real. Like, the only reason why I not even thought about it twice is because of how big he was and how in shape he was. I knew I had to fight him all day.
Yeah.
But I was hoping for, if I just stole him, one of y'all to grab him.
He was a machine, brother.
All right, and I'm going to give you one more. R. Dot.
One of the best defensive point guards I've ever had in terms of, if you played with that basketball, he was stealing it. So, and I said this to a number of people. So, a defensive wizard, I'll just put it that way.
Look, I was telling my homeboy, and they ain't believe me, Coach. I told him, I said, Chris Paul right now versus me when I was younger, I'm on his head, he locked.
Yeah.
And they ain't believe me.
I'll give you that one.
I was like, I would lock CP3 right now. If I was younger and CP3 was at his age right now, locks.
Yeah.
But, man, thanks for chilling with us, man. I had a good time chatting with you. We about to get up out of here. Go ahead, man. Brother. My fault.
No, I appreciate you having me, man. Thanks.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later, all right?
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you guys for chilling with R. Dot and the Full Court Press. Make sure y'all log on to sportsandgiggles.com. Hit us up on our social media, Sports and Giggles, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. And make sure if you need anything promotion-wise, hit me up, sportsandgiggles@gmail.com. We out.